So if you follow us on Instagram and on Twitter, then you already know that we are together.
And of course, y'all were gonna ask us a bunch of questions, but we didn't want to leave y'all in the dark. So in this video, I'm gonna be asking all the questions that y'all posted on Twitter and on Facebook, but she's gonna be the one that's gonna be answering them.
But if you want to check out Bart's answers, go ahead, go to his channel and check all of those answers out.
Vincent J. Velez asks, what is it that finally made you two date?
So I've known Bart for a very long time before we dated. I knew him for about 3 years, and those entire 3 years, I found him ultimately annoying and really disgusting. He was like a little brother that you just wanted to beat up all day.
Sure.
No, really. I had no attraction to you whatsoever. So we would all hang out in like a big group of friends, and we would go snowboarding, we'd go watch movies, we'd go eat out, we would go to each other's birthdays. Like it was, just a regular circle of friends. And I remember it was after Thanksgiving, we were already in December, I think. I had like this breakup, and I was really, really sad, and I didn't want to hang out with anybody. And I remember, oh yeah, it was around Thanksgiving, when Bart and a bunch of my other friends, they would call me like, hey, don't spend Thanksgiving alone. Come and hang out with us. We'll get your mind off of this breakup or whatever. I guess I was depressed. And then I was like, no, I don't want to see anybody. Leave me alone. And then I remember Bart came over to my house, and I wasn't there, but then my friends, I was living with roommates at the time, and my roommates were like, hey, your friend Bart was here, and he wanted to take you out so that you're not all sad at home and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's really nice of him. And I think that was the very, 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 very first moment I was like, wow, I really don't hate Bart that much.
I was just going over strictly as friends though, for real.
No,
I was coming with Mike.
Well, the thing is, I didn't even think anything because I didn't even see you in that light at all.
Me neither. I just knew that you were in bad shape.
Yeah, so I just thought, wow, he's really nice, like he's a really caring person. I had no intentions of ever dating you at that moment. Sure. So I was like, wow, that's really nice of him. Okay, so fast forward to maybe a couple weeks later. I was feeling better, less depressed, and I think Bart was coordinating this like really big snowboarding trip with all the homies all together, and it ended up that it was gonna be me, him, and then one more friend. So
that's a real big trip.
Well, no, you were coordinating it. You were asking a bunch of people, is what I said.
Right.
But I guess after you asked everyone, I don't know for what reasons they couldn't go, but it just ended up being us three.
That's true.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, so he was like, hey, you know what? It's gonna be this friend, me, and you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I've never really spent time alone with Bart ever, because we were always just in friends, like with a bunch of friends. So I never really connected with him on any sort of personal level outside of like, oh, is that food good? What did you think about that movie? Oh, that's the new girl you're dating, whatever. So it wasn't anything really deep. So everyone was meeting at my place, and he came over, and like at that time he was driving this truck that had like really loud mufflers, so you can always tell when he was near. So I heard it, and then I peeked through the window, and I was like, oh, he's there. And I expected for him to walk to the front door and then come in. So I just kept getting ready until I heard my doorbell ring. And like, I swear to you, like 10 minutes passed, and I see this dude in his car doing this. Right? Because I can't hear anything that's going on. Like, what the hell? This dude's freaking weird. It ended up he was like practicing like some singing lessons or something inside his car.
I was taking vocal lessons at the time, and then you have to like sing these exercises that are like.
Yeah, and I was like, what the hell? This fool is fucking weird. So whatever, that was just a little tidbit I wanted to share with you guys. But
So what was it that finally made you
hold
date?
up. I wanted to like build it up. Anyway, so he finally gets out of his car. No. Actually, I walked to his car and I'm like, okay, I guess he's not coming in. Fucking rude ass. So I go to his car and I'm like, hey, what time is Richard coming? He's like, oh, you know what? he flaked. Like, he's not gonna make it anymore. So in my head, I was like, what the fuck? I gotta kick it with you for hours? You know how weird that's gonna be? Because, like I mentioned, I had never hung out with him. So I was like, fuck it. Okay, I can't back out of it now. Like, he's already here. I'm up. I'm ready to go. Whatever. Let's just fucking go. So it was just him and I. We drive up to Big Bear. We're finally heading up toward the mountain. And while we're driving up, I mean, it would be awkward if we weren't talking at all. So this was when we finally started, like, talking about life, talking about my relationship that I was so sad about. And, you know, we were really getting to know each other a lot more. Not that any feelings were happening. I still didn't see him in that light at all.
Me neither.
Okay, good. So, you know, as I was like getting to know who he was, are you stretching?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see what you did there. So as I was getting to know him as a person, I kept telling myself in my head, like, wow, you're such an amazing person. Why can't I find more people like you? Not necessarily I want to find you and be with you, Bart. It was more like, God, if you exist, there's got to be other people like you that exist too. Again, I didn't think anything of it. So I think I even told you, I was crying because I was so sad that I spent like so many years with this individual, and like, you know, I felt so disappointed in that relationship that when I was hearing his responses and like just his perspective on life and family and friends and stuff, I was like, God, you know, I'm like crying and stuff. Like, why, you know, if like people out like you exist, like, God, why can't I find those people?
There's only one of me, girl.
Anyway, so, you know, we finally head up toward the mountain. We're probably like a few minutes away, and what is it? They stop us, right? And they're like, hey, you know what? You guys can't go because, I don't know, something happened where they had to block off the roads. So we were like stuck in his truck talking for about like 3 hours. And like, it was just like, what's your favorite music? Like, tell me, you know, your childhood memories. Like, it was just full on like, I'm an open book, get to know me, and then Bart's an open book, get to know you type of thing. And it was really, really nice because I hadn't really connected with a person like that for, I don't think I ever really connected with a person that quickly, ever my whole life. So it was really neat because it felt like I was finally talking to my best friend from, you know, another life or something. So it was really, really cool. So that snowboarding trip came and went, and you know, we were back in our home area, I guess, or like our hometown, and I remember I didn't want him to go home. Whatever. Not like that, but I just had a feeling like, wow, I still want to keep connecting with him, you know, like he's such a good friend. And I still didn't think like I liked him or anything. But I kept thinking about him, and I'm like, God, why can't I get this guy out of my head? Like, wow. I kept telling myself too, like I was in pure denial. I kept saying, wow, he's such a nice friend. Wow, what a great friend. And my dumbass wouldn't, like, either I didn't want to or I just was stupid. And I didn't put the two together like, wow, I really like him now. But it was more like, wow, that Bart, he is a great guy. That Bart, wow, he is funny. He is so nice. Wow. Any girl that gets with him is going to be very lucky.
They're like, that Bart is really a great guy.
Stupid, that does nothing for girls. I've never heard a girl fucking squeeze her tits and say, ooh. Anyway. Yeah, so then I think from that moment forward, I just kept thinking about him and how great he was. And then a second snowboarding trip happened that he was like, hey, we're all gonna go again. And I'm like, because I was thinking about him so much, I'm like, yeah, I want to hang out with him again. Yeah, I'll go. And the same thing happened. No one showed up, it was just him and I. But this time it was a little bit different because now I was like really giddy and I cared about how I looked because I kept in my head.
Really?
Yeah. In my head, because you know when you snowboard, your face is pretty frozen and your nose is really cold, so there's like snot that's running out of your nose that like, you don't even realize is there. And before, when he was a homie, I didn't give a fuck. I was like, whatever, like you're my brother, like I'll do whatever. I don't care what I look like to you. But this time I was like really self-conscious. I wanted to like be really cute and stuff. And like, not that I was flirting with you, but I don't know why. I just wanted to impress you. I wanted you to like me and think I was cool. So I think during that snowboarding trip was when I started seeing him differently the second time around. After the second snowboarding trip, it was just like, wow, I really can't stop thinking about him. So we would text a lot back and forth. And during all this texting, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm just gonna throw this text out there, you know? I have like, I'm not embarrassed because it's texting, he's not face to face, I think I can get away with it. So I wrote to him, I sent him a text and it said, I don't know why, but I can't stop thinking about you. And that to me was a freaking crazy big deal. I remember my heart was racing. I was at work. I remember exactly where I was, what I was wearing. And then like after I sent it, my heart felt like it was gonna jump out of my chest. And then I was like, oh my God, what is he gonna reply? When is he gonna reply? And I swear, every minute that passed by felt like an hour, because I felt like, oh my God, I think I scared him away. Like, what is he thinking? Did I just ruin our friendship? Like, oh, like all these things were like racing through my mind. And then, you know, I hear that little chime on my phone, and immediately I'm like, oh God, like, what does he say? And he said, yes, I know exactly what you mean. And I swear to God, I died that moment. I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. And then I think from there on, I was like, man, I really like this guy. So, yeah. Did I answer that question?
I guess so. DeAndre Swaggy asks, how was your first kiss?